What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Maverick Man 101. Looking at a video today from HL Talk That Thought. Fake strong independent woman instantly regrets divorcing her husband. Let's go.
Being a single mom for me, the hardest part is not the financial part. It's literally like the dysregulation that my child has the majority of the time. It got worse after her dad moved to California. And it's so hard because I have so many great tools as to how to help a child regulate their nervous system, and I've done a lot of that work on my own too. It's
What?
no matter what I do, because she feels so sad and abandoned, it's never enough. And I know that sometimes that's just a 3 and a 4 and a 5-year-old, regardless, which I just feel that's not talked about enough as a mom. When your child's always dysregulated and feeling like a bad mom, or just feeling so miserable. It's really hard for me to admit that it's so hard. And I feel even before I was a mom, or a single mom, I had these days. But then it's too, sometimes you see on social media, I've seen so many comments from moms of I never needed a break from my kids, or this or that. But it's so hard. And
They never regret the action, always seem to regret the consequence, right? And again, that is because their safety nets are a lot bigger. So they don't have to regret the action, right? They don't necessarily have to be regretful about divorcing or breaking up a family, right? Because there's social safety nets, right? But if those social safety nets tend to break, or they don't work out the way that they want them to, then they start to regret the consequence, right? It's a simple formula, right? If they try to monkey branch, if they try to use their hypergamy to go get somebody else and that doesn't work, right? They never regret that initial action. They regret the consequence because it didn't work, right? They regret the result. So this woman is regretting the result of breaking up her family. Now, ma'am, I ask you, I'm sure she's not watching, but I ask you, look, you talk about deregulating children and all sorts of stuff. I mean, ma'am, studies are showing that it's the mom, right? It's the mom who more often than not is detrimental to the child's growth and development. It is the mom who is on medication, on, brain meds and head meds. And, they're the ones that make the house very timid and like you're walking on eggshells. Children tend to learn empathy from the father, right? Studies have shown this. So it's not, she wants to play this victim now, but it's ma'am, you're the problem. More often than not. I know society doesn't believe that, right? Because it just has to be the man. It has to, right? Has to be the man. Nah, bro. It's not always the man. Sometimes, yeah, sure. Most times, it's the woman. They're the ones breaking up their families because they can, right?
I have a boyfriend, but I still consider myself a single mom because I'm usually with my daughter alone, because him and I work opposite schedules. And
let me just say this real fast. You're not a single mom, you're a co-parent. Okay, so stop that, right? That single mom thing, man, it is a term that women use. It's like the N-word, right? It's like a term of endearment, right? It's like a it's like a, like a status to them, right? No. The dad seems to still be around. I think she said he moved to Cali. You're a co-parent. You decide to be a co-parent. The husband, the ex-husband, is still around.
I financially support myself. Yeah, he'll help with my daughter and he's really great. But even if then you get remarried, it's nobody talks about the fact that they don't listen to that parent because it's not their, biological parent that they grew up with. And I've heard having a blended family and being a step parent is really hard. And it's like hard for everybody because even the real parent is like, they can't help, they can't intervene the same, you know? And it's so hard. I never like anticipated, like when I got a divorce, that I would do this on my own by myself.
Right.
And I just feel like so run down. And I don't have any family that lives by me, and none of my friends have kids. And sometimes it's just really, really lonely.
Welcome to a man's world. You be all
And I
right.
know that I can't be like the only mom that feels this way, and I'm sure like some moms who are even married feel like this. But it's really hard. And so like we went to a place today so I could get a break, but then it's like she screamed and wouldn't get in the car, screamed the whole way home. I came home, I'm like, do you want to play a game? Like, doing anything and everything I can, but like nothing's good enough, you know? And sometimes it's just like so triggering. And it's like the most frustrating part is like I'm just left, like the other parent just was like, I'm gonna leave. And it didn't even feel like a valid reason to me. And I'm like, okay, like, I can't control you. I'm gonna do my best. But, like, my best literally is failing. And it's so hard. You know, it was hard being a single mom before, but she wasn't always unwell. Now I feel like 80% of the time she's unhappy.
So it sounds like to me that it sounds like the dad up and left, right? That's what it sounds like. So it sounds like the husband up and left, or or maybe she's talking about a boyfriend. And there's a lot of men here, and I'm confusing myself. But regardless, ma'am, um, look, you choose these men. You choose these men. I said it in the previous video, man. Look, yes, it takes two to tango, but somebody got to open up the dance floor, right? You want to open up the dance floor to men who aren't reliable, who you can't really get that long-term commitment from. Now, look, she was married, but I believe that she went through a divorce. Ma'am, come on now, right? And this is what happens too, right? They crash out. Parenthood isn't for them. She says her daughter is unwell. Hey, look, man, I hope the child finds some way to be unwell. But typically, man, when those parents split up, if the child goes with the mom, there's a high chance that child is going to be unwell in more ways than one, right? But women swear up and down they can beat the odds because this is what they've been told. They can beat the odds. They can raise a family by herself. She can be CEO of IBM. She can do this and still have time to date the hottest guys and have all these wild sexual fantasies and live life like on the edge and never get old and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, they lied to you and you lied to yourself. Okay, it is what it is.
And it's because she misses him and she tells me. So I'm just over here. And I want to enjoy these years because I know that they're going to go so fast. But I'm not enjoying it right now. I'm so miserable.
She ain't even crying.
It's like really kind of embarrassing, honestly, to like sob on this video. I was trying not to cry.
You're not.
But why is being a mom so hard?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And why don't moms have like more support?
Oh,
and I felt like this even when I was married too.
You know what your support was supposed to be, ma'am? That man. I'm sorry, man. Look, you are not judged as a woman, and we're all judged, okay? Like this fantasy world where you don't want to be judged. Well, go live in a cave. It's going to happen. Everybody throughout history, man, woman, and child, has been and will always be judged. It is what it is. If you don't like it, go live in a cave or go start a new society. Go somewhere else, right? But, ma'am, you are judged on the fact of your ability to keep a man. That's your support. To keep a family, that's your support. right? To have an extended family, that's your support. You can't have it both ways. You can't be independent and dependent at the same time, right? Either you are or you aren't. Either ish on the pot or get off.
And I'm sure being a dad is hard too, but I just feel like a lot of times everything's just pushed onto the mom. And we drop the ball. Like, everybody's gonna drop the ball, and it would be nice if, like, the other parent or the partner could, like, pick it up sometimes,
This woman would really win the victim Olympic competition if there is one. I mean, she decided to destroy her family unit because she wanted to chase after Chad. And now she wants...
So it was her. Yeah, I knew I heard that at the beginning. Guys, sometimes I'm gonna be honest with you, I just trail off. When these women get to talking, I just kind of tune out. I start thinking about like the NBA playoffs. I just don't care. But I do think these are good learning tools because they crash out, man. They always, for them, it's, sometimes I try to be fair, right? I do. May not seem like it, but I try to be fair. But it's nature playing its trick on women, right? Being a mother, wanting a family a lot of times, and a lot of modern women, they're just not raised to be mothers. They're not. She can't just snap it and become a mother once she's pregnant, right? Because she can spread her legs. Like, and they crash out. It's a lot of work for them. It's more than what they expected. They can't be out all the time. They got to devote their time and their energy, specifically when that child is young, to that child. And the same thing happens to men, right? Nature is cruel, man. It plays tricks on men as well, right? It makes you think that women like you, right? It makes you think that you're the number one option for your wife. Nah, bro, you're not. You were the last option. Nature's last option was you. That's it. So, nature plays cruel tricks on all of us, man. And it hits women hard, very hard.
Wants to play the victim. She doesn't care about anybody but herself. There is a very valid reason why her ex-husband left her city, and I will explain it to you later on. But for now, I will show you the level of selfishness of this modern woman by playing this clip where she makes the struggles of her own daughter about herself. Let's watch.
So I just dropped my daughter off at her dad's for the first time since I've technically moved out, and it was really emotional, not because I didn't want to leave her. I love having the break, but because when we got there, she was like, I don't want to be here, Mommy. I want to go to our new house with you. She just turned 3, and I know that she's so confused. The hardest part is not being on my own. My biggest fear is just that she'll feel abandoned by me or wonder why I left her, why I moved out. And I have her more of the time, but she spends a good amount of nights there during the week because I work at night, and it's just so emotional because I leave her not with her dad, with a babysitter. I feel like that's a harder transition for her because she's really close with her dad. And I've cried off all my makeup now, which is fine. I have to go into work in a few minutes, but this is the part that I didn't let myself think about when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to leave, because I just knew that it would be too much, and it's as hard as I thought it would be to process. And I remember seeing so many clips like this on social media of moms having to leave their kids, and I remember just thinking they're so strong. That'd be the hardest thing I could never imagine, and you never think you're gonna be in that situation, and I am. And I love her. I obviously miss her. I also love having a break because I feel like I didn't get much of one for 3 years, but I don't want her to feel abandoned by me, and I never want her to feel like I don't want to be with her. I don't love her.
Let me pause this real quick, man, because gosh, she's a lot, man. One quick point. Let me say this. So, I don't have kids, right? But, I see and I observe a lot I read, I research, I talk to people. You know, typically what I found, and I think what a lot of research shows, is that when parents split, typically the kid, they do have a favorite parent, right? Typically one is more of the disciplinarian, one's more of the, hey, you can do whatever you want, just do it in a house type of parent, right? Is what you'll often see. Based off of what she's saying, it seems like she's the do whatever you want in a house type of parent. Maybe the dad's a little bit more strict. And it tends to be that way, right? Dad's a little bit more strict, a little bit more, kind of rigid in his approach. You know what I mean? Get up, make your bed, brush your teeth, do this, do that. You know what I mean? He's a little bit more on point with it. This woman seems like she probably lets her kid do whatever she wants, because she wants to overcompensate for the failure of that marriage, right? Which often happens, right? And women do that, particularly in the Black community, right? You'll see a lot of women overcompensating things for their kids because the dad isn't around, or they push the dad away, or they chose the wrong man, whatever it is, right? They'll overcompensate for it. So they'll buy them everything they want. They'll give them everything they want. They'll, buy them jewelry and let them stay out late and let them drink early and have girls in the room and all this other stuff, right? At a young age, because they're overcompensating for something that's lacking. So that's what it seems like for me with this woman. The second thing, really quickly, because I want to get back to her non-crying self. But it's like, ma'am, again, you chose this life, right? You chose this life. And I'm guessing that she's a nurse. She said that she works at night. She could be a cop. I doubt it, right? She could be, I don't know, a caretaker. My bet is that she's a nurse, right? Nurses, we've talked about them on this channel. Stay away. And she has this girl with a babysitter, I think she said. Man, that little girl is going to be jacked up, man. I hope that little girl turns out well. But not only is this little girl coming from a broken family, and you're leaving her with someone, with a babysitter at night, and you already talking about she's unwell. Man, America, bro, home of the broken families.
The hardest. This is the part I'm struggling with the most. I feel like everything else I have such a good handle on except this part.
Even her biggest fear is not about how her daughter feels, but instead, it's about her and how she is going to be perceived by her 3-year-old daughter. Her biggest fear is not even about the well-being of her own daughter. It's always about me when it comes to modern women.
Right.
Now we are going to talk about why her ex-husband decided to leave the state, as you may read in this caption on your screens right now. She thinks that she can just drop her daughter off at her ex-husband's place whenever she wants, so that she can go have some fun. And I can see more and more this pattern in modern women recently. They have their families with a good man, then divorce him because they know he will take care of her kids while she goes have some fun because he is a good man. That is probably why her husband decided to move out of the state. I am pretty sure that she won the majority of the custody, but we can clearly see that all she is about is having fun with no responsibilities. And
when she says fun, she's just out here getting her cheeks clapped.
We see that all she is about is having fun with no responsibilities. And what is really hurtful is that these modern women want to have the majority of the custody of the children so that they can put the father on child support. But on the other hand, most fathers who have the majority of the custody of the children almost never put the mother on child support because fathers are mostly focused on the well-being of the children. It's very unfortunate that children are the ones that suffer because of modern women's selfishness. Now, all this woman does is posting videos of herself crying, playing the victim, and blaming everybody else but herself. We will just sign out with this clip where she explains her life situation so that you guys can understand when I talk about children in adult bodies.
A few mornings ago, I woke up without my daughter because I was about to work a double, and so she was staying at her dad's.
She a nurse.
And I woke up with so much emotion, a flood of emotions that I knew was going to eventually hit. I've been separated from my husband for about 3 months, but me and my daughter, only moved out of our house and into an apartment 7 days ago. I'm naturally someone who doesn't cry easily. I like to put on a brave face and shove how I'm doing, even though I've been in counseling for years and I've been a life coach for the past 3 years, and I teach women how to access their emotion. In this season, I've really unintentionally ran away from my pain because I'm a single mom now and there's so much to be done, and I just haven't even really had the time to process how I'm doing. So I woke up and I turned on worship music and I let myself cry because grieving is really, really important, and crying is really, really a healthy way to grieve anything in your life. And one thing I want to point out when I'm crying and grieving is that I picture that I'm not alone and I picture someone with me. It's actually really, really healing, no matter who you are, to picture someone with you while you're crying, because most of us believe we're alone. As uncomfortable as this video makes me, and I can make all the jokes about how I think I'm an ugly crier, this is my process, and it's super messy and it's up and down, and sometimes I still feel in shock that this is my life. But I never want to rush past this season of mine, and I want to fully embrace it for what it is.
It's amazing how women who can't even handle their own personal business call themselves life coach. And the crazy part is that other women are actually listening to their advice. You just can't make this shit up. Fellas, protect yourselves at all times against these types of women. And above all, don't forget to keep your head up, focus on your goals, and everything else will follow.
Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. Shout out to HL Talk That Thought, man. Really good video, man. Shout out to him and his channel. Seriously. Yeah, I think, Jesus, man. I don't even know where to start. I think I've talked enough about this woman, but I will say, look, man, there's plenty of women like this coming down the pike. And I think one of the important things for men, particularly young men, this woman looks to be maybe late 20s, maybe early 30s, maybe, I'd guess. But these are the women that your sons, your nephews, your cousins are going to have to marry, because if you think that she's the only one like this, you're crazy, bro. There is thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of women coming down the pike just like her. And if you're not careful, you're going to marry this woman. She's going to play with your balls once. You're going to marry her, put a baby in her, and you and your child are going to be hit. hit. Protect yourself, guys. I think that look, I hope it works out for the child. I could care less about this woman, but for the child, I hope it works out for her. I hope whatever help that child needs or whatever it is gets it. But this woman here, man, jeez Louise. Hey, man, America, USA, home of the brave, home of the broken families. It is what it is. Folks, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, eat well, sleep well, be well. Peace.